Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 231 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, a.k.a. the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. Rejection. We've all felt it. The pain, the gut punch, the sense of inadequacy when somebody tells you your presence is not wanted here. Please leave ASAP. I mean it. Right now. Please give me hand sanitizer because we just shake hands and I don't want your germs lingering on my palm anymore. I want them all to die a quick death and get away from me. Leave. Now, but not all rejections are created equal. Now, some people, their spouse dies and they remarry within 6 months. They didn't move along. Life, go forward. No look in the rearview mirror. Not me, not the B-Man. I have the feels in my chest, in my belly, in my heart, in Mr. Perfect, my penis. I have the feels all over. And my ball sack. I have great balls. Have I told you? 2 balls in 1 sack. Lovely. All right, enough with my ball sack. I encountered one such rejection recently that I know is going to linger a lifetime. I honestly don't know how to process it. As you may know, I've mentioned him a few times the past few episodes. This clavicular doctor, clavicle, this looks-maxing guy on the internet who seems to pass out because of meth use every other night out at the club. I don't know, smashing his face. I watched a documentary about him. How do you become the looks-maxing guy on the internet? I was curious. And I don't have anything going on in my life, so I have the time to watch a documentary on a looks-maxing teenager, early 20s. Anyway, so I watched the documentary. And somewhere early on in the documentary on YouTube, he mentioned this clavicle guy that he started posting when he was 14 or 15. He started posting on this forum called incels.is. I've never heard of this forum, incels.is, before. I'm mainstream social media, Reddit, Instagram, X. Those are my main 3, a little bit of eBay. And yes, I'll admit, my dirty pleasure. I love looking at Venmo. People who keep their Venmo public, I almost every night I'm scrolling through that, seeing who my friends and acquaintances are wasting all their money on. At least they have money to waste, unlike the B-Man. But all these 4chan, all these other weird forums, I don't know how to get to them. I'm not tech savvy. Incels.is, I've never heard of it. But it did pique my interest because I don't identify as an incel. But I would not oppose somebody calling me an incel or an incel adjacent or incel-like. I wouldn't challenge you if you were to call me an incel or anything like that, or any type of. I don't consider it a slur. Some do. I don't. So no. Now that I know, watching this documentary, that there's a forum where incels congregate and message each other, and there's a forum, I wanted to be part of it. So the B-Man, I go to incels.is thinking it was an open forum. No. The incels don't let anybody respond and post on their forum. You got to apply to be accepted into the forum. That is incels.is. So I thought, no biggie, right? I qualify, right? I'm 42. I live in my mother's basement. I hardly ever get my dick wet. It's been over 3 months since I have. So I haven't been in a real relationship in over 20 years, a little less than 20 years. So like I am an incel. Like the incel stereotype, the B-Man, I'm swimming in it, the deep end. Every stereotype you have of an incel, the B-Man has. Right? I'm blue blood incel. So when I go to incels.is and they say, hey, you got to apply to be here, this is not me applying to college. This is not a resume. This is I'm one of them. They're one of me. Of course, they're going to accept me with their loving. They're going to hug me. They're going to embrace me. They did not. They rejected the B-Man. The B-Man got rejected from incels.is forum. That's a rejection unlike any other I've ever gotten before. And my entire life has been rejection. I've been doing stand-up for over 12 years. Do you know who I am? If you're watching this, you probably don't. That's because I'm a failed stand-up comedian, and I still do so. But let me tell you, let me show you what I said to, sorry. So let me pull up the email. They sent me an email, okay? This is from the incels.is forum leaders or whoever sends out the emails. Incels.is, involuntary celibate forum. Sleazy G, that's my username on all my smut websites. So porn, the hub, all those, any smut site, I try to use the username Sleazy G. So if you see me commenting, Sleazy G, it's the B-Man. Anyway, Sleazy G, unfortunately, the account you registered on incels.is, involuntary celibate forum, did not meet membership requirements. Your account is no longer accessible. Like, are you kidding? Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? What else do I have to do? What? So I'm looking at the emails right now. Like, what else do you have to do to get accepted to an incels internet forum than be a 42-year-old guy who lives in his mom's basement, who hasn't been in a relationship in over 20 years, who hardly ever gets his dick wet? What else do I have to do to meet the incel standard, to be one of them? And I'm not even trying to be one of them. I'm just trying to ingratiate myself into their community, the incel community, that is, because I think they would enjoy the content that I produce here, that we put together here at Verbal Graffiti. I think they would get a kick out of this project, whatever the fuck it is we're doing here. I think the incels are my audience. So I'm trying to get into the forum to introduce myself to them. This is win-win for me, it's win for them, it's win for everybody, for all the incels. And yet the incels are telling me that you ain't incel enough to join our forum. And I'm just here like, how the fuck do you get rejected from the incels when you're practically an incel yourself? You are the walking stereotype of one. I'm shook. I'm shaken. I don't know what to do. I don't know any other incel forums. Like when I get rejected by a babe, like right now I'm doing, I'm cold DMing babes on Instagram. I'm just finding babes who live in Connecticut, and I friend request them, and if they follow me back, I hit them with a message and try to start a conversation. That's how low I am right now. That's how bad it is out there. That's how desperate the B-Man is. But there's always another babe. Right? There's always another job, another resume. There's always another one. I don't know of any other incel forums, though. Like once you get rejected by incels.is, I don't think there's any other incel forum that I can go to shoot my shot, to get rejected from another one. Like, there's always another babe that can reject me or another job. But the incel forums, they aren't plentiful. I only know of one because of this clavicle guy in this documentary I watched about him. So now I'm just I don't know how to. And again, I respect the incels, so I'm not gonna try to pirate my way into this forum and comment. don't fuck with the incels. Clearly, their standards are very high, and I don't meet them. But yeah, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. It's just, getting rejected by community college. That's basically where I'm at right now. Like, where do you go? You get rejected by community college, your life is over. You're never going to be successful. That's where I'm at. The incels rejected me. And again, I think we can help each other. I think I could provide them entertainment. I think I could learn a thing or two from the incels to bring here the verbal graffiti to impart on all of you viewers. And again, thank you to my 71 subscribers. But again, like, I'm not going to lie, I am shook. This is a rejection unlike any other. And I honestly don't know where to go from here other than continue cold DMing babes on Instagram. And yeah, I do that. I've been doing quite a lot of that of late. Moving forward, this one's a long one. So let me open it up. It's a long one. So buckle up, sweet cake. This comes from the subreddit Sweet Cake, Buttercup. I don't like those terms. Incel. Buckle up, incel. All right, this comes from the subreddit Venting. My boyfriend didn't show up. Busy hanging out with friends when I ended up in the emergency at hospital. Okay? Summary of my text to him. A GP, that's general practitioner probably, referred me to A&E, which I'm guessing is emergency room. Need to go now. Leg injury got worse and cannot walk anymore. I'm on a wheelchair. I showed a bubble of me in a wheelchair. I cried because the injury was very painful. I'm even grinding my teeth. He replies, okay, take care and stuffs, but didn't offer to come at all. He was hanging out with his friends. Background. I have no family in current city. He knows. I told him I'm alone in the emergency room and it's hard to push my wheelchair. He said, ask nurse for help. 2 hours at the emergency room. I asked him I want food because no lunch yet. He said he can send food delivery to emergency room. I said can't enter food delivery and has to be patient's family, friends. And he asked me, does this include him? 1.5 hours later, I text him, I broke up with my ex because he didn't come when I was in the emergency room. And the BF said he'd come right now, ... I said I left the hospital already. I don't want to meet. And he said, what's wrong with me? Why do you expect him to come when I didn't ask him to come? He said, come if I said, can you come? Or I need help. He said I failed to say those, and I threw a tantrum at him for not coming to A&E, the emergency room. He kept saying I didn't ask him, and he didn't know it was an emergency that I'm in the emergency room. He didn't know it was bad, even though he saw me on a wheelchair. Your loving boyfriend is a shitty person, right? I'm guessing, just from the story you laid out, that your loving boyfriend, devoted boyfriend, he sees his friends as more of a fun hang than hanging out with you. That's why he didn't want to come to the emergency room. With that said, though, your boyfriend is a shitty person, as are you. With your injury and all, you're still a shitty person. So therefore, you should break up with your boyfriend, but for the sake of humanity, you should not break up with your boyfriend, and you and your boyfriend are perfect for each other and should go down to town hall and elope as soon as you're out of your wheelchair and can walk again. Right? Because two wrongs always make a right. You see, you're a shitty person, as is your boyfriend, so the two of you are perfect for each other. It's a perfect union. And if the two of you were to break up, go your separate ways, your shit stains would get on other individuals that might not be shitty at their core. So it would be worse for humanity if the two of you broke up and put your shittiness on other people. But since the both of you are so shitty, terrible human beings, for everybody's sake, I want the two of you to stay together forever till death do us part. And I'm guessing you'll die before your loving boyfriend does, because it seems like you're often in the emergency room. Okay, does that make sense? I hope it does. I wanna give you some advice. And oddly enough, the advice I'm giving you that you were using, which is your phone. You know that smartphone you had where you were texting your loving boyfriend, a picture of you in a wheelchair, and that you're hungry, and that you're going to the emergency room, and oh my God, ... SOS. Those messages, you should have been calling your boyfriend. See, when you're in an emergency, when you're in an emergency, an argument, or a disagreement, or a heightened state of emotion, you should not use text messaging for communication. That's when you should use your phone. Actually pick up the smartphone to your ear and call him. And tell him you're in the emergency room. Because when you're texting each other, hey, I'm in a wheelchair, I'm nervous, I'm going to the emergency room, can you get me food? And then your boyfriend's texting you, well, what do you want? Am I allowed in the hospital or not? Like, sometimes those text messages get lost in translation. See, what those text messages lack is tone. See, if you were to call your loving boyfriend, and actually talk to him, your boyfriend would be able to hear your voice. He'd be able to hear, you being scared, frightened, frustrated. He'd hear your voice, just how hurt and physically ill, and how distressed you are at that moment. And the tone of your voice, more so than what you would say, will let your boyfriend know, oh, this is a real emergency. I got to go check on my girlfriend right now. And he's going to peace out to his friends and come to the hospital or the emergency room to check on you. But what you did is you got into a text argument with your boyfriend. And therefore, your boyfriend, he was able to go back through the text messages and kind of use it as evidence against you. And you never want to be in that situation. So whenever you're in an argument or kind of dispute with your lover, talk on the phone. Talking is such a better form of communication than text messaging. So that's on you. Now, why are you a shitty person? That's what everybody's asking the B-man right now. We know why the boyfriend's a shitty person, right? He's hanging with the boys. You're in a wheelchair in the emergency room, dying of starvation. And he's like, yeah, I'll Uber Eats you something. Can I sneak it through security? Like, you're barely on his mind. We know he's a shitty person. But why are you, the disabled lady in a wheelchair, why are you a shitty person? Because you evoked the name of your ex-boyfriend in a argument with your current boyfriend. You can't do that. That makes you a shitty person, right? That's you cannot evoke the actions of your ex-boyfriend with your current boyfriend to explain your anger, right? It's too I'm a passive-aggressive guy, but even that is too passive-aggressive for me. See, you were telling your boyfriend, I broke up with my ex-boyfriend because he didn't care for me during an emergency. which is a sneaky way of saying, like, hey, you didn't show up to the emergency room? I'm going to break up with you because I did the same thing with my ex-boyfriend, right? You should have just came out and said it without invoking your ex's name or situation. You just should have told your boyfriend, your current loving boyfriend, hey, I'm breaking up with you. You didn't show up for me during an emergency. I can't trust you. It's obviously you don't love me, not nearly as much as you do your boys. We're over. Don't even bother coming to the hospital. But no, you did that sneaky, shitty person thing by comparing your ex to your current. If that were me, if I was the current, I'd go, hey, honey, go back to your ex then, because we're over. And I'm hanging with the boys, and stop texting me from your wheelchair. Nobody wants to date anybody who's currently in a wheelchair. We know you squirt. I can't be fucking a baby in a wheelchair when she's a squirter because there's always the danger of hydroplaning. I can't have that in my life. And then you're trying to invoke your ex-boyfriend me? No, fuck this. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. So you're both shitty people, and you deserve each other. And you should have a miserable marriage that will last a lifetime. And this brings up another situation. It seems as though you spend a lot of time in emergency rooms, yet you're able to get boyfriends willy-nilly. I spend a lot of time on Red Pill, YouTube, internet, right? Incels. Like, clearly, I know a bit or two about the Red Pill, evolutionary psychology, all that corner of the web. I know. I view the content of it on and off throughout the years. But there is this content, a genre, where these hot babes will come on the internet and talk about how each relationship they've had, each breakup, has made them a stronger person, has made them more in tune with themselves and who they really are, and it will make them a stronger, better person for their next relationship. But then I'm here as a viewer watching this content going, well, if you're 25 and you've already had 6 relationships that have all ended in a breakup, maybe you're just bad at relationships. Right? Maybe you're not capable of finding a husband that will last a lifetime. Like, after a certain number of breakups, there's only so much self-improvement and lookward inwards before you are who you are. Like, if you're 25 and you've already had 6 relationships, like another 10 more relationships isn't going to make that much of a difference. It's not like boyfriend 6 to number 7. That's the aha. And then you learn, then suddenly everything falls into place and you have a perfect relationship. It seems to me, if you're always getting in and out of relationships, you're just bad at them. You're not, like, if you're 25 or whatever age and you've had 5, 6 relationships, clearly you're not learning enough from each one. You just suck at relationships. At least that's what the B-Man thinks. Was that the opening segment? Yeah, I think it was. All right, let's go look at something right now. What is a man? Really, what is a man? Well, most of my time here at Verbal Graffiti is spent complaining about the babes and their looks, their appearance, their behavior, their friends. The orbit of a babe is what makes a babe unbearable. But us men, I gotta admit, and I kind of do it gleefully because I like looking inward. I like criticizing myself more so than others. We gotta be better. Because men we ain't doing anything right now. Obviously, to be a man, I'm useless. Other than a handful of dick jokes, and it's barely a handful. Hey, I got nothing for you. But I spent a lot of time walking around New Haven. And if you don't know New Haven, there's an Ivy League school there. Yale. You might have heard of it. I'm not even sure if it's considered Ivy League anymore. But anyway, all the guys there, just a bunch of twinks. They're skinnier than me. None of them walk around with confidence. So I would think that if you're, I don't know, 19, 20 years old, you're going to Yale, there's a good chance either you or somebody you know is going to become president or, a high up in finance or tech or medicine or law. You're going to know people of influence, and you're probably going to be a person of influence. Like, these should be the most cocky motherfuckers on the earth, these men, but they're barely men. They're walking around, they barely weigh 150 pounds. No sense of masculinity. I don't know the last time I've seen a square jaw. Our nice 5 o'clock shadow near the Yale campus. And I'm not walking on the campus, but if you don't know, Yale is kind of in the middle of the city. So just like being near the campus, you're not a pervert if you're near the campus. It's just it's part of the city. So I see these students, and none of them there's barely anybody over 6 feet tall. They all look like they're taking estrogen. And there's no, I don't want to say the word blue collar, but there's no one with a broad chest and muscular, maybe other than the athletes. Like, I even see some of the Yale football players. I go, like, that's a football player? Barely a man. And then I go out and every guy's wearing a graphic t-shirt and all they want to talk about is Rick and Morty and Beavis and Butthead and sports betting. And us men, we're just not doing anything. We're not presenting ourselves as men. We're not dignified. We don't have posture. Right? We don't dress well. We're wearing dirty sneakers, cargo shorts. No one should see your feet in public if you're a man. And I've seen way too many men's feet in public. Like, honestly, if I see your feet, you're not a man to me. It's just, man, we just gotta be better. And I just bring up Yale because that's kind of, as the Ivy League goes, so does America. And if these are the best men America has to offer in the future, America has no men. Like, I know there are men out there, but they ain't living along the coastline. So, and again, I'm barely man myself. So I'm one of the manless men. So us men, we got to step up. We got to step up because it's getting dangerous out there. There's look smackers out there. So we got to be more masculine. And I'm not a leader, so somebody else has to do it because I'm a follower, right? Follow from behind, live to see another day. That's my motto. That's our motto here at Verbal Graffiti. So yeah, man, I don't know where they are. They ain't in America. All right, moving forward. This one comes from the subreddit Smut Covers. All right, X3 Magazine, January 2026. On the cover, whoa, Anna Claire Clouds, Hailey Rose, Luna Star, Sherry DeVille, Aubrey Kate, Romi Rain, Lulu Chu, Violet Brandani. What I would give to smell the dirty panties of all these babes other than Romi Rain. All these babes, this is star power. You look at this cover, and you know you're a loser, and I'm a loser. Because I knew who 75% of these babes are before coming across this magazine cover. And I'm also a double loser. I'm a loser squared because when I saw this cover and their attire, immediately it made me think of the WCW tag team Harlem Heat. I'll put up a picture beside them. That's how much of a loser I am. I know who almost all these smut stars are and the tag team they remind me of from the 90s. That's how ingratiated I am in the smut world. But this is the Dream Team, 92. And much like Magic Johnson, there's probably a good chance someone on this cover has HIV. Hopefully not Hailey Rose. But you watch this, and I didn't know what X3 magazine was. And I tried looking it up online, and I couldn't buy the magazine. Because I saw this cover, and I was like, whoa, like this is a Snapchat. Sorry, this is a snapshot of smut, mainstream smut in the year 2026. That's what this cover is. So I wanted to buy it for my own personal collection, just to like a historical document. Like similar to how we all hear like people make that joke. Oh, I read Playboy magazine for the articles. Like that's why I got it. We know that's a joke, but the covers do represent the culture of the current day. If you want to look back at the magazine cover in the 50s, it was very cartoonish. It was an actual Playboy rabbit. And then it kind of got more risque, more skin shown as the decades went along. So there were certain magazine Playboy covers that kind of just represented the year, the era, the time capsule of whatever year or month it was put out. And that's what this magazine cover is. It's a snapshot of mainstream smut in 2026. And if you're a gooner, there's a good chance you know 50% of these babes, and you probably have hawked your dick loogie to, at least a third of these babes. And I've hawked my dick loogie to everyone but Violet. I did that. Violet Brandani. Violet Myers is the Violet I hawked my dick loogie to. So, but everyone else I've hawked my dick loogie to. I'd love to smell the panties, used dirty panties of all of them but Romi Rain. And I say that because I respect Romi Rain. I do. Right, she hosted the ABN Awards a couple years ago. I've hawked my dick loogie to her. Not proud that I have, but she fucks like a porn star. I'll give her that. But the reason why I wouldn't want to sniff her panties is because she kind of looks like a man. Right? She kind of looks transsexual. And that's not something I'm attracted to. I'm not attracted to transsexuals or masculine features. And Romi Rain, her face just looks very masculine, and that's not unique to the year 2026. If you're a smut historian, which I like to consider myself one of them, a smut historian, every decade there have been prominent porn stars that have very masculine features and where you probably have questioned their gender. And so Romi Rain is just the latest in a long line of prominent porn stars that just look manly. And that's no fault of her own. That's just me pointing that out. And I'm so proud. I'm so proud of Hailey Rose in the middle, the star of the stars, because over a year ago, if you don't know, Hailey Rose, she's relatively new to the game of smut. Within the past few years, and I had an entire episode dedicated to Hailey Rose and her smut here at Verbal Graffiti. I don't remember what episode, but I do believe it was one of the first 50, and she has perfect jigglers. Her facial expressions when she's getting fucked and about to orgasm, she does this cross-eyed like face where like I don't know, I can't do it, but the face that she makes, like I know she embellishes it. But it's also a face that you can't make unless you're enjoying getting fucked. Like when I watch Hailey Rose in a smut scene, I can tell that she's genuinely enjoying the work that she is putting in. Now that may change, as it often does. Like, the more years you do the smut, and the more tedious it can become. But I recognized her talent early on, and now the fact that X3 magazine, whatever this magazine is, which I could not find, Like I could not find a copy to buy. I have seen other months and they're over $200. But so I'm not spending that much money on a cover. But the fact that this magazine, this smut magazine, recognized Hailey Rose as the smut star atop the smut star kingdom triangle, that makes me proud because I recognize that talent before X3 magazine recognized that talent. And again, you only recognize like I want to give myself a tip of the penis for recognizing the talent that is Hailey Rose. That's the type of talent you recognize after you got the 10,000 hours, year after year, night after night of gooning. You recognize talent when you see it. But she was a natural and just a first time gooner would recognize, oh, that's a star in the making right there. So I can't give myself a tip of the penis, but she's definitely a star. And that's what intrigues me the most about this cover. It's not the snapshot of the current state of mainstream smut. Like, I know all these names. Hopefully, future generations will look back at this cover and will reach out to me and were these guys, was Lulu Chu really that good? Was she really a talent? And I could give you the exploits of, oh yeah, I could show the game film. No, watch this. No, she's good. She's good. And a Cloud 2025 AVN Female Performer of the Year. Every one of these babes have a shelf in their bedroom just filled with medals and awards, plaques. It's it, man. It's just gold on top of gold with all these babes. But the thing that intrigues me the most is the politicking. Because Hailey Rose is one of the younger of these smut stars, and she gets the prime spot in the middle. Now, the curmudgeon in the B-Man suspects that they all did separate photo shoots, and then X3 magazine, they put them all together with editing and AI and all that. But I would like to think, I hope, the hopefulness that the B-Man still possesses, I hope that they were all here for this photo shoot and they did it together. Because that would make this photo would provide so much more intrigue to me, at least me anyway, because I want to know the politicking. Because I know all these babes have an ego, a well-deserved ego. A lot of the babes just out there in the world like to think they're the baddest baddie on the block. They're the brattiest brat on their city block. They're pussy pops more than any microwave popcorn. There's so many people out there in the world who think they're a baddie, that they fuck better than anybody else fucks. Well, these 8 or 9 babes, they do. And they do it on camera. They got the footage to back up their claim. So their egos are well deserved. So all of these babes deserve to be the center of the photo. But that went to Hailey Rose. Now I know. Like, I don't know, but I know that the other babes in this photo ain't happy about that. Maybe they went with it. Maybe the photographer took pictures with all of them in the middle, so no one knew who was going to get the main spot when the magazine came out. But I know that there was some weaving and bobbing to get the center, to be the Jordan in the middle of the photo. That went to Hailey Rose. Lulu Chu, I know she's not happy about it. I know all these babes, they do collabs on Instagram and they'll share a house and they'll fuck each other and they'll bring in Johnny Sins and they'll all fuck him. And they'll go on their podcast and say, oh yeah, I love collabing with all these other performers. We know that's all bullshit. We know babes are a little batshit crazy, especially babes in porn. And there's a lot of babes. A lot of these babes are on the phone with their agent. Once this comes out, they go, why the fuck was I not in the center? You should, like Romi Rain, like I hosted the AVN Awards, and I'm in the back row, barely see me, can't even see my legs. Like, why was I not up front? Like that, the politicking, the anger, the talking shit behind each other's back, the agents getting involved, all that politicking. That's what I want to know about. That's what I need a documentary 10 years from now on. When they're all burnt out and out of porn, I want to see a documentary on January 2026 X3 magazine cover on all their true feelings about the positioning they were in this photo. Because I know. They're all smiling in that photo. As soon as after say cheese, they ran back to the dressing room furious. Everyone other than Hailey Rose. And again, well deserved for Hailey Rose. I've gooned so often to her. I really have. I'm still jealous. The one thing I don't like, two things about Hailey Rose I don't like. I don't like that she's getting more tattoos. I'm not a tattoo guy. And I'm still jealous. If you don't know, her husband or boyfriend is in the industry and they fuck a lot. And I'm jealous that she's with her, that she has a boyfriend. Now I want the two of them to break up so that I might have a chance with her. Again, the B-Man, I'm hopeful. But go read it. X3 magazine, if you get your hands on it. I didn't know where to find it on the internet. Go suck a fat one.